like you said, I think you don't realize what an impact. You think it's just a silly show and you're playing this guy in a costume and you're being super. And then you get there and you're like, my dad passed away and this was the show that we watched every week. And this is, we became, we had a bond from this. Yeah. And that's awesome, man. It's awesome. It's inadvertent. It's like, you're like, you get that. You get to feel that. You get to be like, this is, not only did I get paid and I was on a show and I'm working, but now I get this. And this is, this person telling me how much it meant to her. So it's really cool. Did you like the the episodes where you sang?
Well, we only had like one real.
Is it just one?
We had one musical episode.
Did you love it?
Going into it, I was like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we doing this?
You fought. Like, come on.
Not really. I never really fought much of anything on the show. Like, I never was like, I don't want to do this story.
Like, okay.
You kind of like, because again, I've never considered myself a writer. I did get good over the years at like, I knew Barry better than anyone. And there were certain story things that like, I'd have conversations with, usually if I was calling the showrunner or a writer about anything, it was like, hey, can I say this like this? It wasn't, I never was like pitching a different storyline
and they were usually like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, generally. So yeah, I know when I saw that we were doing a musical, I was like, feels early was like one of my first thoughts, because I think it was like
we jumping the shark?
Yeah, it was like season 3 or 4 or something.
Can everybody else on the show sing?
Well, that's why we did it. Yeah, it was like it was like begging to be done. It was like there were people that weren't a part of it that should, like Tom Cavanaugh, has played Bobby Strong in You're in Town on Broadway, and like he was not a part of the musical episode. And I'm trying to think like who else didn't get utilized that could have, but I mean, Steven was, I think, a part of it, and like he can sing, but like he didn't sing.
But that's got to be like, you shoot episodes in what, 10 days? Mm-hmm. So did they give this one a little longer?
No, I think it was 10, because it's actually 8 days with like the 9th second unit day. So it's really, we do like 8 or 9, because I was almost always involved in the second unit day. So like 9 days, but
then you have to go to a recording studio and record it.
Yeah. But I had done Glee. So like
so that was easy for you.
It was eerily similar, like where we brought up Zach Woodley, who had been the choreographer on Glee. They got him to choreograph it, which was like weird. It literally felt, I was like, and like the number Zach choreographed was with Melissa, who was on Glee, and then Darren is around Chris, who was like Glee made him a big star. And I mean, it was bizarre. It was like this weird like Glee Flash hybrid episode. Well, I think it was actually an episode of Supergirl, that crossover
with Melissa.
Yeah, I mean,
and
everyone
she could
was
sing.
Yeah, like everyone, like I think Chris Wood, who's now her husband, who they met on that show. I knew him from college, where we were musical theater majors together. He wasn't utilized in the like he was in the musical episode, but he didn't sing. And he's like done like Broadway tour. He's been on Broadway. He's done Broadway tours. So I mean, it was, I think, Carlos has been on Broadway. It was just announced yesterday, so I can say he's about to be on Broadway again. He's about to go do Hadestown and replace Jordan Fisher, who played my son on Flash, who was in
Such a Small World.
So he'd been on Broadway. Jesse L. Martin obviously had been on Broadway. Victor Garber, Broadway star. Melissa, who'd been on Broadway. Jeremy Jordan, we had, who's like a Tony nominated Broadway star.
Jeez.
It was like ridiculous. It was,
you had to. This is why they had to do it.
And,
God, what do you?
And now like it's. I haven't rewatched it. I've seen clips of it, but like people love that episode. So like
it's so different,
and it was fun. Like it was the crossovers tended to be the hardest at times, most miserable experiences, but at other times like the most fun experiences. Yeah. And that one was both, but it was like one of the more memorable, more fun episodes.
Do you know what I think you should do?
Tell me.